I'm Brodor, and this is Why We Game, bonus material. The following audio is from this year's Gamma Expo in Reno, Nevada. I spoke with Adam from the Army Painter. We discussed how much they value their retail partners, their soon-to-be-released airbrush medium, and Adam's fine-ass teeth. Let's tune in.
Hi, this is Adam from the Army Painter. We're here at the Gamma trade show in Reno, Nevada. This is this is my third year here with the Army Painter, but we've been coming for a very long time. Mm-hmm. It's a great event. Lots of retailers here. We love being with the retailers, meeting with the retailers, finding out what's working for them, what's not, getting ideas. At the end of the day, we sell paints to retailers, and they take care of our customers after that. So it's great to talk with them and see what's working, what's not, and the industry has grown insurmountably since I've been involved with it. There's been a huge growth for a lot of the businesses here, and it's great to see retailers surviving right now.
Wonderful. So now for the uninitiated, Army Painter is a inexpensive water-based acrylic for toy soldiers.
Yeah, we make high-quality acrylic paints and accessories. Our color primers are one of our big products as well for the hobby and games industry. We don't make models, but we make really good paints to paint your models with.
Right.
So we partner with a lot of great companies. We're Disney approved. We have a Nordic Swan Eco label on our paints, which is actually pretty cool because that means that our paints are sustainable, they're good for the environment, they're safe for, not that I would recommend drinking them, right, but if you were, you're probably not going to get too sick.
Well, I am a self-described paint eater. I am one of the many painters.
I am a brush licker. And you know what? It's the owner, Jonas, he's the one that taught me, and it's improved my painting to a high degree. I do not recommend that for kids at home, however.
Right. Well, and as a painter myself and as a former retailer, there are a lot of competitive edges that I see to your brand over other brands. But if you could just lay that out for, why should retailers bring your brand in?
Absolutely. One of the reasons I think retailers should consider the Army Painter first and foremost is that everything that we do is focused, of course, on making high-quality products that are accessible to the end consumer. So if you're a gamer out there, especially young gamers, you don't have $1 million to spend on hobby accessories, especially when you're putting all that money and all your pocket change into buying those cool minis that you want to paint up. So one of the things that sets us apart, obviously, is we want to get quality at reasonable prices and accessibility. We take great pride in carrying good stock of our products and ensuring that our distributors are well stocked in our products, because it's very difficult to sell paint if you can't keep it in stock. That's probably the hardest thing to do in the world. Mm-hmm. In the Army Painter, we thrive on retail. Jonas, one of the owners, he owned his own game store for a long time. Bo and Jonas combined have many years of experience in sales and product design in the hobby and games industry. So they've been around for a long time. They know what works. And I think one of the most important aspects is that people do trust the Army Painter. Mm-hmm. Don't try and pull any wool over people's eyes. We give you a good product at a good price, and we design it in a way that it's going to sell in your store.
So what do you guys have coming out, later this year, or that people should be looking for, new advancements in the tech?
Absolutely. So this past November, we debuted the Army Painter Wet Palette, which has been absolutely huge. So much so that we didn't quite predict how well it was going to do. We are now on our third replenishment order, which is great. That means more people are using wet palettes. They're learning how to thin their paints properly. Their paints are lasting longer, and they're probably achieving better results with the techniques that they're employing when they're painting their miniatures. But it only comes with 2 hydrofoam sheets and 50 hydro sheets of paper for it. Our replenishment for that is coming this June 15th. So that's been pushed back a little bit because we've had to produce more wet palettes and put those sheets into. So June 15th, that's coming. We have had a few customers say, when is that coming? Before they buy the wet palette. So June 15th will be about the time that you can make that purchase.
Now, see, that to me is an interesting insight because as a retailer and as a fan, we're very ignorant. The way the 3-tier distribution model works in this industry, the consumer doesn't understand what the retailer does.
Yeah.
The retailer doesn't understand what the distributor does. The distributor and the publisher or manufacturer might have a tenuous relationship. It's really, really challenging. So people have to understand when they come into their game store or they reach out to you guys, there are legitimate reasons why that product is not yet available.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's hard for the consumer because they want what they want and they want wanted it yesterday.
Absolutely. When we announce a new product, typically there's about a two to 3 month window of opportunity before it hits we call it the street date, when it's going to hit the streets and in the stores. And that's because, as our industry is growing, it's becoming more and more difficult to forecast your orders as a distributor and as a retailer. So we have to give them plenty of time to see what the excitement is around that product before they place those orders. Because obviously, if you're a retailer, you don't want to go and order 100 wet pallets if maybe your store can only sell 5.
Yeah, because
right?
depending on what your cash flow is, that could kill you.
That could be really, it could be really damaging for your business. So that's why we have these 2 to 3 month lead times essentially before they reach street date. And the customers, once they hear it, they really want it. So you kind of have to prolong the excitement to make them excited and ready for it when it does get there.
Gotcha. Now, you had mentioned before I started recording something about airbrushes or airbrush kit.
Airbrush
Medium. There we go.
So we just announced it last week. That's also going to be a June 15th release date. We get a lot of questions all the time. Do the Army Painter war paints work with an airbrush? Absolutely they do.
I have had good success myself.
They work
Again, I am not a shill. I mean, I'm a shill for Army Painter, but I'm not getting a paycheck from Army Painter.
Well, I appreciate that. The question is, yes, our paints work very well through an airbrush, but a lot of our customers are new and they don't have somebody in their area that necessarily teaches them. And we're very big on educating people how to get the best uses and best practices out of our products so that they get great results when they're painting their models for their next bash with their buddies at the game store, in their basement, wherever they're playing their games. So with the airbrush medium, what we actually did is it's not just a thinner. It's a 2-in-1 combination thinner and flow improver. So it's going to save our retailers space on their shelves. It's one less SKU that they have to worry about. And it's also going to be easier for the end user to use and thin the paints when they're starting to use the airbrush.
All right, I'm going to take a different direction real quick. You're very slick. You're polished. You're extremely professional. Your teeth are probably the whitest teeth in this building.
You can thank my wife for that.
What did you do before this?
Me before this, I've been doing...
You had to wear a tie and a jacket, right?
No, I did not.
Really? Okay.
I worked in the bike industry for a long time, but
like bicycle or motorcycle?
Bicycle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I did before this, but Bo and Jonas kind of stole me away.
Right, but you have a very, very precise, professional presentation.
Well,
so I assumed that you worked in some other industry that was not this.
Well, listen, so here's the thing. When Bo and Jonas started this company 13 years ago now, they wanted to do it right. And when they first came to these trade shows, they had these very nice white collared shirts with the burgundy, our burgundy red on the collar. And they wanted to be as professional as possible because that's something that, at the time it wasn't there.
Right.
And that's reflected in our products. If you look at the displays, our tool rack and our painting rack, we want to be able to put our best foot forward for our customers. And as this industry continues to grow and it's bringing more and more people, it's not just 15-year-old kids that are doing this. It's doctors, it's lawyers, it's professionals that are playing games now. So it's about putting your best foot forward. So from day one, they've always had this approach. It's be as professional as possible, present your products as professionally as possible, and treat your customers as professionally as possible.
Well, honestly, Adam, thank you for your time. I think you nailed it. I really do. I think that whatever Bo and Jonas set aside, whatever the mission statement was, you hit it on the mark, man.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it.
Cool.